This is your Kick-Ass Life podcast, episode number 143 with guest Kathleen Booker.
This is the Your Kick-Ass Life podcast with Andrea Owen, a no BS guide to self-help and badassery. Because ladies, let's face it, life's too short for it to not kick ass. And here's your host, the girl who serves it up straight with a side of crazy, Andrea Owen.
Hey, ass kickers, welcome to another episode of the show. I am so happy that you're here, and I am so excited for you to listen to this conversation. Kathleen Booker is so amazing. I have been waiting to have her on the show. I met her over a year ago, and I've just been dying for you guys to be able to meet her. She is so incredibly peaceful and funny and great, and oh, I love her. I just want to carry her around in my pocket just to have a little piece of her all the time. So I know that you will love her as much as I do. Before we jump into the show, have you signed up for the 7-day challenge yet? Have you? It starts on Monday. You might have seen some of the emails coming through about this. This is something I have run 4 times before over the last 2 years. Over 6,400 women have gone through this challenge, and I love it so much I'm doing it for a 5th time. The topic is, quite plainly, is learning how to speak more kindly to yourself, learning how to manage that negative self-talk, the talk that compares you to everyone else, the voice in your head that tells you you're not good enough, that you shouldn't, that you suck, whatever yours looks like. And it's really simple. Just go to yourkickasslife.com/7-day challenge. And what it consists of, you get an email every day for 7 days that has a worksheet and a challenge. Each one should take you about 10 minutes, maybe longer, depending on how much you want to dig in. And my most favorite part about it is the Facebook group. There's a private Facebook group for all of the people going through the challenge where you get to come in and post your answers and see everyone else's. Like every single time I run this, people are like, oh my God, I had no idea so many other women felt the same way that I did and had such similar stories and are also in struggle sometimes in their life. And it's amazing how much we think that we're the only ones. So this group really shows you that you're not alone, and there's such a sense of camaraderie, and the energy is just amazing. It's my favorite thing to do. I do it about once a year. It's 7 days. I call it the Courage Challenge. There's also a contest where you can win some fabulous prizes. yourkickasslife.com/7-day challenge. And for the sake of total transparency, y'all, there is an offering it's kind of like in the middle of the challenge that you'll hear about. And there is a special discount and special bonus only for people that are in the challenge. So if you've been waiting for maybe a more affordable class that I teach once a year, hint, hint, it's the 30-day experience. And again, there's a special discount for a limited time that is just for people that are signed up for the challenge. Okay. So yourkickasslife.com/7-day challenge. And let me tell you a little bit about our girl, Kathleen. Kathleen Booker is an effervescent native New Yorker. Her energy is infectious. Kathleen is passionate about conscious, connected breathwork therapy and knows firsthand the energy, healing, peace, and joy it creates in one's life. As a certified breathwork coach, she has worked with many masters in the field of conscious, connected breathwork therapy. Kathleen lives by breathe deep, live deeper. When you breathe deep, the answers are revealed and the pain dissipates. So without further ado, y'all, here is Kathleen. Well, hello there, Kathleen. How are you?
I'm doing very, very well, Andrea. Thank you very much. How are you?
I'm good. And listen, I want everyone to just hear for a minute. Already, we are at a peaceful place just by the introduction. I've already, kind of taken my intensity down just a little bit for this particular interview. I'm so excited to have you here. You and I met at Soul Camp, and I'll be honest, when I was there, among all the teachers and even among the students, I felt like I was the least woo-woo definitely of all the other instructors. And I was a little skeptical of breath work, but at the same time intrigued. Because let me tell you, for myself, and I think most of my listeners, we're doers, we are thinkers, we are achievers. And so to slow down takes quite a bit of effort. And most days I'm not sold on just how helpful it is. But I have to practice what I preach to my clients and the podcast listeners. And so I attended one of your workshops at Soul Camp where I was, no pun intended, blown away. I was blown away by what happened. And not just to me, but being around in the presence of what was happening to the other people. So, and I'll tell this story in a little bit, but I want to start at the very beginning for people who maybe have never heard of this modality of light work that you do. Can you explain to us, what is breath work?
Well, first, I just want to say thank you so much. I really am honored to be a part of your podcast. So thank you so very much. And I really bow to you for all the incredible work that you are doing as a light worker and how you are shifting, changing lives. So well done, you.
Thank you.
So what is breath work? Well, I have to tell you, as I have this huge grin on my face, there are two things I can talk about all day long, me and breath work. I absolutely positively love the breath because the breath is just this incredible tool that we all do every single day, hopefully. And when we consciously connect our breath, what we are doing is releasing cortisol, which is stress, which causes high blood pressure, which causes migraines, which causes anxiety and a host of so many other things. And what it does is releases the cortisol in your body and increases the good feeling endorphins in your body. Where you have stress, tension, and where you have peace, the stress and the tension will fall away and the peace will remain. And at that point, what the body is in is a state of homeostasis, which means that it is balanced, which means it's from that place of balance, that place of solidness, that you are able to make really sound choices for your highest and greatest good. Speak, hear, feel from your heart. You're also able to heal things within your body. Blood pressure goes down with breath work. Your immune system is enhanced with breath work, in addition to which your digestive system, so it helps you release weight, ladies, I'm just saying, with breath work. So there's just so much that it does. And then on an esoteric level, because there are things with the breath that can be measured, and then there are things that can't be measured. The breath does heal mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. And it's so subtle yet so powerful that it heals, transforms, transmutes, neutralizes things that we didn't even know consciously were running in our lives. And it just sort of eases them off as easily as inhaling and exhaling.
Wow. I love that. And I believe it. And like I said, I only had the one workshop with you, and I think that my experience might have been sort of divine timing. And so for those of you that don't know, I'll tell you what happened. So it was at Soul Camp where I had just come from a workshop with Natalie Berthold, who was another guest here on the podcast, who does family constellation therapy. I'll link up to her episode here in the show notes. And I went to Kathleen's workshop where it was a packed house. Like, girl, you definitely know how to draw a crowd. And so you first come in and Kathleen is smudging, with sage and clearing the energy. And I'm like, okay. And so she has us lay down. And you take us through this breath exercise, which I'm pretty sure was just sort of like Breathwork 101. It was just like kind of the fundamentals of it. And what happened for me was I had just come from this other workshop where I uncovered a story that I was making up about something. And then as I'm laying there doing this breath work, my entire left side of my body started trembling and shaking uncontrollably, really. And at first I thought, am I cold? But nobody else was cold in the room. I'm like, okay, it's just me. And I felt like what was happening was this, because of the breath work and really kind of what it did for me is it slowed everything down, which I am not used to doing, which, to be perfectly honest, scares me a little bit. To be in a place where I am alone with all of the thoughts and feelings, that F word, and to be able to breathe through it and allow my body to do what it instinctively knows what to do. I felt like this story was passing through my entire body like a freight train. It just sort of was like moving, and that's maybe what was causing the trembling. And you were so great about making me feel safe, because it kind of scared me. Like, I've never had a somatic experience like that before. And even though there were, God, I don't know, at least 25, 30 other bodies in the room, you came over to me and made me feel safe. Like, it was okay. You don't have to get up and run out of the room, which I had that choice. I could have gotten up and left. And that probably wouldn't have been helpful to me. So that was my experience of it. And which kind of brings me to my next question. Not that I think that what I was clearing was trauma. It very could have been, but word on the street is that breath work can heal trauma. So can you speak to that?
Oh my God. Can I say a slightly bad word?
Of course. This podcast has the word ass in it. You're allowed to say that word.
So hell yeah. And that's what I'm speaking about with the breath. That's why the breath is so powerful, subtle, yet powerful. Now, your experience, Andrea, as everyone when they do breath work, will be unique unto you. I say to my clients all the time, I can guarantee that at the end of your session, you will feel delicious, delightful, and light. The road to that deliciousness and delightfulness and lightness is different every single session. Every time you have a breathwork session, it will be a different experience, but the outcome will always be the same. So why will it always be different? Because number one, we're different every single nanosecond of the day. You have no idea what happened to you. Well, for you, what happened before was you went to Natalie, who's awesome, went to Natalie's workshop, which opened things up. You don't know what's happened during the day. In addition to which, the breath is so infinitely brilliant. It knows what nook, what cranny, what crevice your soul is ready to have touched in order to make a manifestation, a creation, to bless and neutralize something, to bless and transform something, to bless and dissolve something. You don't know, but the breath does. And resistance, which is that, thought that you had, well, I could get up and get the frick up on out of here. However, your greater sense, your soul that was ready to heal that aspect that came forward was able to support you to relax. Whatever comes forward during a breathwork session is a gift from the breath. And I always say that. It may not feel always comfortable. It may not be tingly. And then you have people who don't experience any of that, but still have a healing nonetheless with the breath. But whatever happens during your session, it is a gift from the breath because, as I said, you are ready to make a manifestation, a creation, bless and neutralize something, let something go. And I would say for you, as you already stated, your soul was just ready to take the charge, the heat off of the misbelief that had been running your life. And the breath just very easily and effortlessly, you breathe it out with your inhale and exhale. And genuinely, it is just that simple. I will share with you that even though we breathe every day, breath work is a practice. As you have your practice of breath work, you just begin every single atom, every inch of you begins to open up and expand with the breath. And as that gets into the marrow of your very bones, there's an expansion that takes place mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. And as that expansion happens, misbeliefs that we've been holding on to, I'll use myself as an example. So one of the things that breathwork supported me in healing, I was molested by my father as an infant and as a toddler. So the misbeliefs I brought forward and began to live my life from was unworthy, not enough, not good enough, undeserving. How that showed up in my life was never staying at a job longer than a year, 2 years. Relationships just really sucked. Money wasn't flowing, and I was just really, really unhappy. As I began my breathwork practice, things just, my consciousness, my heart, my thoughts began to open up. I have been able to forgive my father. It doesn't mean that what he did was okay. It wasn't. However, I am able to free myself so that my life can soar and I don't remain in the past, holding on to beliefs that are not the actual truth of who I am. Now, that doesn't mean that with breath work, things won't go a little awry. They will. Life is going to life. However, with a breathwork practice, you have a tool to smooth those bumps. And you'll find that when shit does pop up, there instinctively becomes an inhalation, which is life, which is vitality, which is the source, the one, that fills your body. So that from that place, you make a choice for yourself that is in your highest and best interest. That is heart-centered. Wait, did I get off target a little bit?
No, I'm just like over here with like my head on my hand, just like staring out the window, just like, ah. That's how you feel when you're around Kathleen talking to her. I love everything you said. And I'm wondering, because the people, I've experienced it. So the people listening might be like, what is she talking about, breathwork? And I know that you do some Facebook Lives and things like that. I would be honored if you would give us like a 2-minute sample of breathwork that you would do maybe with a group of people who, I don't know, maybe my people struggle with racing thoughts or stress, or would you be able to do that with us?
Absolutely. And, I'm going to share with you that breathwork is for everyone. Even for those who've got it going on. You want to take it to another level? Let the breath take you there.
I assume you mean like people who have a good meditation practice and don't feel stressed that often.
The beauty is that we live in a 24/7, well, this is not the beauty of it. We live in a 24/7 world. Mm-hmm. And so it's always on. It is imperative, and I'm going to share this with you, Andrea. It is imperative that you get off the hamster wheel every now and then. It's imperative. The universe is talking to you, sharing with you incredible ideas to catapult you into the next stratosphere. However, when we stay so turned on, so tuned in to all that is going on, we don't hear all that the universe is saying to us for our highest and greatest good. And the universe is always championing for us. Always. Always. So it's imperative to get off the hamster wheel and, as I like to say, woosah down every now and then, because what that creates, staying in that high state of onness, plugged inness, what creates in the body is stress, is anxiety, is high blood pressure, dis-ease that happens. You've got to come down. Nobody can stay up there. So the breath is just a beautiful way, even when you're in a board meeting, to just bring it down a hair, to be focused, to be able to hear with your heart and not have your brain racing 20 million miles ahead or behind. So with that, that's a great place. You wanted to say something?
That's a key. I just love you said to be able to hear with your heart instead of your mind. And I think that for me, that's a goal that I have all the time. I think my heart is never wrong. My heart never steers me in the wrong direction. Although sometimes my heart and my head disagree. And my head's the one that usually gets me in trouble. But before Kathleen starts, and I know that this might seem obvious, but if you are driving, if you are somewhere where, I don't know, do you recommend people close their eyes? I mean, you're the expert, but just, safety first.
It's safety first, absolutely. And the beauty of a podcast is that you can turn Andrea on all the time.
I am turned on very easily. Just kidding.
But if you're driving, please do not do this. Do not close your eyes. If you're driving and you can, pull over to the side. If you're driving, then just listen to it, just hear it, and then replay the podcast when you can participate. So for those who are safely in one place and can, just place your feet solidly on the ground. Place the backs of your hands on the tops of your thighs and lovingly close your eyes. See, feel, imagine, intend it to be so, that there's a golden rod of light. This golden rod of light easily, effortlessly, and lovingly goes through your body at the top of your pubic bone, and it grounds itself, it roots itself, it anchors itself into the foundation you're standing on, and that foundation is the law of love. As you stand on the law of love, you feel grounded, you feel rooted, you feel anchored, you feel balanced, and you feel supported. You don't know who or what is the source of the support. You only know that the support feels familiar, and the support feels worthy of your trust. So you allow yourself to just snuggle into that support. Allow yourself to feel grounded, rooted, anchored, and balanced. And breathing through your nose, not changing your breath at all, not trying to influence it. Just feel how it feels to be a body that breathes. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose. And feel your body just begin to settle as it relaxes. Your belly may stick out a little bit more, and your toes just lengthen in your shoes as you just begin to relax. The breath that we do is conscious, connected breath work. And that means that your inhale and your exhale follow each other with no pause in between. I like to use the image of a wave. A wave comes into shore and it immediately melds back into the ocean, or like a circle, no beginning, no end. Your inhale flows immediately into your exhale, and your exhale flows immediately into your inhale. You always breathe through your nose, inhale, exhale through your nose, and I will breathe through my mouth. Keeping your breath going, connecting your inhale to your exhale, and your exhale to your inhale. Keep your breath going, breathing through your nose. And if a thought comes in, that's okay. Let it float in, and your breath will support it to just float back out. Relaxing your lower belly, and just begin to just allow the rhythm of your breath to breathe you. Very gently begin to lengthen your inhalations very gently. And exhaling completely with no effort. The inhalations are life force, vitality, peace, joy, clarity, focus, and so much more. As you inhale all of those things, you exhale all of that into the nucleus of every cell of your body, from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. Beautiful breathing. Relaxing your lower belly. Keeping your eyes closed. Take a big breath in through a wide open mouth. Exhale, saying, ah. Take another big inhale, wider opened mouth. Exhale, saying, ah. Open your mouth even wider. Take a bigger inhale. And exhale silently, gently. Calling back to yourself all parts of yourself now. Calling back to yourself all of your energy now. Clearing all of your bodies, clearing all of your etheric bodies. Pushing all of that up, out through the crown chakra into the spiritual vacuum cleaner now. Knowing you are whole, you are safe, you are loved, you are wanted, needed, and vitally important to this universe. Wiggle your fingers again, wiggle your toes, and lovingly open your eyes.
I'm ready for a nap now.
And I'm so glad that you said that. You know, it's interesting because people, we say, I want peace, I want calm, I want my mind to stop racing. Yet, when we're faced with peace, it's so foreign to us, we think we need to take a nappy poo. Now, I will be honest with you. The breath, with my clients, sometimes, you know, the breath tells on you. Your breath tells your entire story. Sometimes you do need to take a little nappy poo. But 9 times out of 10, peace and calm and relaxation is so foreign to us that we want to readily and eagerly push it away. So if you feel like taking a nap, if you feel heavy, that's peace. Mm-hmm. Just relax in it. Just relax in it. Because the breath, it does 2 things simultaneously. It relaxes us and it energizes us because the breath is energy.
I believe it. I mean, I went to college for exercise physiology, so I understand a thing or two about oxygen levels in our blood and all of these, you know, scientific things about the way the human body works. And I absolutely believe you when you say all of these things just about how this type of work can heal us. Because from a physiological standpoint, I mean, and I have not read any research. I am not a doctor or even a researcher anymore. I was for a little while, but I bet, it is my very unprofessional opinion, that this work aids in stabilizing the levels in our blood and in our organs where it needs to be, where homeostasis is, and it makes us be better humans and it makes us feel better.
And be healthier.
Right, exactly. And it seems so simple, like really just breathing.
If I may, I'd love to share a very quick story.
Please do.
So a client of mine over a year ago, December 8th, a year ago, was experiencing stage 3 cancer. We did 94 consecutive days of breath work. For 94 days, every day, we did a breath work session. Every day. When someone gets a diagnosis that is catastrophic, and it doesn't have to be a medical diagnosis. It could also be, I'm looking for love and love isn't coming to me. It could be my husband or wife is abusing me and I don't know how to get out of this relationship. A catastrophic diagnosis could also be, I'm looking for work. I haven't found it yet, or my boss is abusive to me. So it can be a myriad of ways. For this individual, we did 94 days every day. She slept every night, a full night. In addition to which she ate. In addition to which her oncologist said, wow, you're doing so well. Will you speak to other patients? Because what was coming off of her was just a positivity. I'm not going to say that she didn't have moments where she's like, what the fuck? Okay? However, those moments were very light in intensity and lessened in frequency. And this happens for my clients, whether they have a catastrophic diagnosis or they're looking for love, looking for a new job, looking for clarity in their life. This is what breathwork does. It brings forward health, clarity, love, focus, so much and more.
I believe it. And I just really believe in this work. And so one more question for you. And it's a question I ask many of my guests. And that is, what surprises you about the work that you do with your clients?
Oh my gosh. What surprises me? Nothing surprises me, but I just get so excited to see the flow of energy through their bodies, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. I love seeing transformation take place right in front of my eyes. I love it.
I bet it's very rewarding. And clearly you were called to do this work, and this is your soul work to the world. And thank you for being here and bringing your gifts to us today. And how can people, so I know that you do classes in New York City where you live. And so how can people take your classes either there locally or if they're not in New York City?
I do breathwork sessions, private one-on-one breathwork sessions over Skype, Google Plus, telephone, so I go around the world. I also have a free webinar that I do weekly. If it's okay, I'll send you the link. And
yeah, it'll be in the show notes.
You can share that with your clients. And just call me if you have thoughts or questions about the breath or want to know how can it help you with whatever. Give me a call. My number is 646-354-1537. And I'd like to extend to each one of your listeners the invitation for a complimentary 45-minute chat. So just, as the song says, call me. So just give me a call and we'll schedule a time for your free 45-minute chat all about you and the breath.
That's amazing. How generous are you? I didn't know that I am not an affiliate, you guys. Like, I just truly believe in your work, and that will all be in the show notes. And you guys, I highly encourage you to take Kathleen up on it. She is not just great at what she does, but you are funny. You are so funny. And just to be around you is just a joy. And it makes me wish I lived in New York City so I'd be able to attend your events. And thank you so much for being here and for that lovely breathwork exercise. I'm sure people are going to listen to it over and over again. I know I am. And all the show notes are at yourkickasslife.com/143. So you can go and easily click on over there to get all the resources that we've talked about. And Kathleen, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. My honor. My honor. And to all of your listeners, keep the breath going. I believe in you. I know for you only divine wonderfulness. So know that you can and know that it's within you.
Well, thank you so much. And thank you, listeners, for being here for another episode. And until next time, I will see you out in cyberspace. Bye-bye. Hey, ass kickers, you know what would help me out so much if you left a rating and review for this podcast. Your Kick-Ass Life podcast will always be free to you, and to help me get more awesome guests and to spread the word, it helps tremendously if you leave a rating and a review. Now, they don't particularly make this super easy to do, so I'll help you out a little. If you're in iTunes and you're on your phone, when you are in the podcast app, you need to search for Your Kick-Ass Life podcast. I know, even if you're subscribed, this is how you do it. So when you search for it and you see it come up, click on the cover art, then towards the top where it says reviews, click that, scroll down a tiny little bit, and then click write a review. Stitcher is a bit easier if you're on Android. The easiest way I found to do this is to type into Google, Stitcher.com, Your Kick-Ass Life, and voila, my podcast should pop up as the first link. Scroll down and click write a review. That's it. Thank you so very much. You have no idea how much it helps me when you do that. All right. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.